Welcome back to the deep dive. We often talk about the big tech trends, but today we're zooming in, way in, on something usually hidden away. We rely on our devices constantly, right? But we rarely think about the specific bits inside making it all work. So today we're pulling back the curtain on a real unsung hero, the printer motherboard. Yeah, it sounds maybe a bit niche, but this component isn't just running your office printer. It's actually quietly driving a huge global shift.
It really is.
Our mission today, to unpack the Global Printer Motherboard Market Outlook 2021-2033 report. We want to understand why this seemingly small part is so central to digital transformation worldwide.
And it might sound technical, like you said, but honestly, the printer motherboard is, well, it's a critical component. It fundamentally defines the performance, the efficiency of pretty much every printer out there, from that little one in your home office right up to massive industrial machines. And as we get into this report, I think it'll become really clear just how crucial these parts are, not just for printing itself, but really for the whole electronics ecosystem and how we interact with connected tech every day.
Exactly. It's the command center, the brain. And it's evolving fast. Its path tells a pretty amazing story. So the big question for this deep dive is, how is this market changing? And what does its growth really tell us about where printing and digital systems are heading globally?
Okay, let's dive in and see what the report says. So first up, maybe a quick refresher.
Right.
What is a printer motherboard?
Sure.
At a high level, think of it as the central nervous system, maybe the brain, of the printer. It's the main circuit board coordinating everything. It takes commands from your computer, your phone, manages the print heads, makes sure paper feed's right, talks to the network. It's the hub.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a basic home printer, a big office machine, or some advanced industrial setup. And that coordination piece you mentioned, that's exactly why it's so vital today. Performance, efficiency, it's all defined right there on that board. You wouldn't get the smooth experience we kind of expect now without a pretty sophisticated motherboard.
Makes sense.
Think about smart printing solutions.
Yeah.
Cloud printing, mobile apps, self-diagnostics. That's the motherboard enabling those features.
Right.
Or, those multifunctional printers, print, scan, copy, fax, all managed by one integrated brain. That ability to integrate connected technologies into our lives or workplaces, it really hinges on what these components can do. They're the silent architects, really.
Silent architects. I like that. And looking at the market numbers, these silent architects are making some serious noise financially. The report puts the market value at, $343.9 million in 2021, which is already substantial.
Not insignificant.
But here's where it gets really interesting, the projection. It's expected to skyrocket to $1.42 billion by 2033. That's more than quadrupling. And we don't even have to wait that long for big jumps. It's forecast to hit $592.3 million by 2025. Just next year, basically.
And what's really striking there is the strong compound annual growth rate, the CAGR. It's pegged at 12.57%.
Okay, break that down quickly. CAGR.
Right. So the compound annual growth rate, CAGR, it's basically the average annual growth over a period longer than a year. It smooths out the bumps. So 12.57% isn't just one good year. It's sustained, powerful growth projected over a decade.
That's impressive consistency.
It is. And these numbers aren't just pulled out of thin air. They reflect some really strong underlying drivers. We're seeing this rising adoption of smart printing solutions, right? Those need smarter, more powerful motherboards for things like AI features or better security.
Okay.
Then you've got the sheer popularity of multifunctional printers. They keep getting better, doing more, and that all relies on the motherboard.
Consolidating everything.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, it's the deeper integration of connected technologies everywhere, smart homes, smart factories. Every connected device needs that intelligent core. For printers, that's the motherboard, no question.
That paints a really powerful overall picture, but the story gets even more detailed when we look region by region, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Let's start with North America. Back in 2021, it was valued at $95.9 million, and the forecast shows steady, solid expansion up to $370.3 million by 2033. That's growing at a pretty healthy 11.9% CAGR.
Still very strong growth for a mature market.
Right, and within North America, no surprise, the U.S. is the big player, expected to hit $309.3 million by 2033. But Canada and Mexico are showing good growth too, reaching $35.5 million and $25.4 million respectively. Consistent demand, it seems.
Yeah, it shows that even in established markets, there's ongoing need for more advanced printing tech. Now, if we hop across the Atlantic to Europe, we see a similar story of, let's say, consistent, substantial growth. is projected to go from $77.3 million in 2021 up to $303.3 million by 2033. That's a 12.1% CAGR, very close to North America's.
Okay, who are the main players there?
Germany's leading the way, projected at $60.9 million. The UK is right behind at $45.1 million.
Yeah.
But you also see France, Italy, Spain, the Nordic countries.
Hmm.
They're all showing steady double-digit expansion.
So similar drivers.
Pretty much. What's interesting maybe is the emphasis on investments in advanced printing infrastructure. It suggests that these mature economies aren't just replacing old printers, they're actively upgrading, integrating new tech for efficiency, connectivity, optimizing, really.
Okay, so North America and Europe, steady, mature growth driven by upgrades now. Asia Pacific, the report calls this the fastest growing region.
Yeah.
And the numbers are, well, pretty eye-watering. It's projected to leap from $120.7 million in 2021 to a massive $538.4 million by 2033. Huge jump.
And leading the pack globally with a 13.28% CAGR. That's really rapid transformation happening there.
It absolutely is. And when you dig into Asia Pacific, you see some clear leaders, some interesting dynamics. China, for example, is projected to be the largest market in the region, hitting $176.3 million. Given its role as a manufacturing hub and its rapid digitization, that makes sense.
Right.
Japan's also a major player, reaching $79.4 million, reflecting their strength in electronics innovation.
And India. The report highlights something specific there.
It does. India is forecast to have the fastest growth rate in the entire report, a stunning 14.1% CAGR. That's expected to bring its market value to $87.2 million by 2033.
Wow. What's behind that surge in India?
Well, it's likely a combination of factors. A growing middle class, huge investments in digital infrastructure, lots of small and medium businesses needing modern office tech.
Yeah. And it's not just them. South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Southeast Asia, generally they're all advancing above 12% CAGR.
Right.
If you look at the bigger picture, it connects directly to the region being this global hub for electronics manufacturing and digital transformation. Printers, powered by these advanced motherboards, are just integral to that whole wave.
It's clear Asia Pacific is the powerhouse, but the growth isn't only there. What about other emerging frontiers, South America, for instance?
Yeah, definitely seeing significant momentum there too. South America is set to grow from $23 million in 2021 to nearly $98.6 million by 2033.
Still very strong growth.
Very much so. Brazil's the big one, projected at $36.9 million. Makes sense. Large economy, lots of businesses digitizing. Argentina's also showing strongly at $21.1 million. And then you have Chile, Colombia, Peru. The report says they're adding steady growth momentum above 12% CAGR.
So widespread adoption across the continent as economies develop.
Seems like it. And you see a similar pattern in the Middle East. That region is projected to grow from $14.7 million in 2021 up to $62.9 million by 2033, holding a strong 12.8% CAGR.
Okay, and who's leading there?
Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE are highlighted as leading adoption. The report connects this to how printing technologies integrate with business digitization efforts. So again, it's part of a broader push to modernize businesses, education, government services, integrating printers into bigger digital systems.
Makes sense. And finally, Africa.
Africa is also showing solid progress, moving from $12 million in 2021 to a projected $50.7 million by 2033. So that's a 12.1% CAGR.
Consistent with Europe and North America's rate.
Exactly. Then Africa, South Africa is the largest market, projected at $22.6 million, and Nigeria is also a key player at $7 million. And the drivers mentioned are pretty clear. Rapid industrialization and expanding office solutions fuel demand. As businesses grow, as infrastructure develops, the need for this tech grows too.
It's really fascinating how universal the need for these advanced printer brains is, regardless of the region's specific economic stage.
It really underscores how foundational this technology has become, a truly global story.
So we've looked at the impressive overall growth, the regional variations. Let's bring it all together. What's the big takeaway here? What does all this mean beyond just, market share numbers?
Well, I think it means the printer motherboard market is set to play a really vital role, as the report puts it, in the whole electronics landscape over the next decade. Yeah. Much bigger than you might initially think. We're clearly in a high growth phase across all global regions, but it's why that's so important.
Right, the drivers.
Exactly. This isn't just about printing more Word documents. This growth is deeply tied into things like the evolution of 3D printing.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, think about it. 3D printers need incredibly precise control systems, right? Managing extruders, temperatures, complex multi-axis movements, layer by layer. The motherboard is what orchestrates all of that intricate fabrication. Better motherboards mean more complex, reliable 3D printing, pushing manufacturing boundaries.
That's a really important connection.
Definitely. And it's also heavily fueled by the rise of smart office ecosystems. Printers aren't standalone boxes anymore. They're networked hubs handling secure workflows, cloud connections, remote management, advanced security. The motherboard is the intelligence enabling all that seamless, efficient operation.
Making offices more connected and hopefully more productive.
That's the goal. And then, of course, there's a simple, ongoing, growing need for efficient, multifunctional printers. People want devices that do more, save space, save cost. And the motherboard is the absolute key to making those devices perform all those tasks reliably and simultaneously. It all comes back to this core component, enabling these broader tech shifts.
What an incredible journey, really, into a component most of us probably never give a second thought to. So to recap, we've seen this massive projected growth, $343.9 million in 2021, potentially hitting $1.42 billion by 2033. We explored the regional picture, Asia-Pacific absolutely booming, North America and Europe showing steady, mature upgrades, and significant contributions from South America, the Middle East, and Africa as they digitalize.
A truly global expansion.
And it's all being pushed by technological leaps, smart printing, versatile all-in-ones, connected environments, even 3D printing, all demanding smarter, more powerful motherboards. It just highlights how these seemingly small internal parts are actually fundamental to these huge digital shifts we're all experiencing.
Absolutely. And, understanding this specific market gives you a really interesting window into how interconnected our whole tech world is. It shows how knowledge about these foundational bits is, well, most valuable when you understand it and apply it to that bigger picture, which raises an important question, I think.
Okay, let's end with that. A thought for you, the listener, to mull over. As these printer motherboards get integrated into newer, more advanced technologies like sophisticated 3D printing or really complex smart office systems, how might that actually change your experience with printed stuff, maybe even with manufacturing itself over the next 10 years? What surprising new ways might we use what we traditionally call printing because of this underlying technological growth? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.